Are y'all telling me that's all the devil had to serve? I mean, really? Hi, my name is Charles, and today I'm going to be reviewing the movie The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. And first of all, I just gotta say, that title is so stupid. They really should have just called this The Conjuring 3 because it is The Conjuring 3, but they just had to be all like, ooh, we gotta title it something else with The Conjuring, and honestly, it was a flop just in the name alone. Once again, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson return as Lorraine and Ed Warren respectively, but this time around, James Wan isn't directing the movie. It is a new director called Michael Chavez, and I believe he directed the last movie in the Conjuring universe, The Curse of La Llorona. Is that how you say it? Whatever. Don't come for me if I said that wrong at the start. I'm just like, Long story short, this movie is about a guy who gets possessed and then, he kills someone and, he's being tried for murder. But Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are just like, baby, he was possessed by the devil or some demonic spirit and we're here to prove it. And I just gotta say, they are straying away with this movie from the formula that made the first two really successful. And I just gotta say, I don't think it worked that well. When you look at The Conjuring 1 and The Conjuring 2, both movies are haunted house movies essentially. They have like a haunting, a family's being haunted, and basically Ed and Lorraine just come over and try to help like get rid of the spirit. But in this movie, it's a spirit has already taken over a person, he's killed someone, and basically like the person who is trying to infect people with this evil spirit is trying to kill them, I think. And my mom was just like, this is outside the formula of the Conjuring movies. Because in the Conjuring movies, you're basically going in and trying to get rid of a demon or like a ghost that's possessing someone in the family or just messing with the family. But in this movie, they were like, look, this thing possessed this young man, and then he killed someone, and then he isn't possessed, but then something's trying to kill the young man, and it's like, we gotta stop it. And my mom was like, what is happening here? Because I don't think this is a like demonic spirit possession him. It just seems not like a ghost or anything at all. When this movie was like, oh no, there's an evil witch that's trying to curse people and like make them kill people and then kill themselves, I was like, what? I mean, this does not fall into the range of Conjuring because to what I know, Ed and Lorraine, especially off the first two movies, they just handle like demonic and like ghost kind of stuff. But a witch, I was like, y'all be playing. Y'all be playing. I mean, I know all these are based off true stories on the Warrens case files, but my mom was like, a witch? A witch? Okay. I just don't understand how the story went so wrong. I mean, the last Conjuring movie was in 2016. It's 2021. 2021. This movie was actually supposed to come out in 2020. So, my mind is like, y'all have had basically 4 years, because I'm pretty sure this was supposed to come out last year, but then they moved it this year because of the pandemic. But anyway, y'all have had 4 years to get this right, and yet the story does not feel strong at all. And it's weird because the writer of the screenplay for this movie is the guy who did The Conjuring 2, and James Wan helped with the story, so I just don't think that this was strong enough, and they really should have went back to the drawing board because maybe on paper it seems strong, but watching the movie, I was like, this doesn't feel strong at all. It could be Michael Chavez's fault. I mean, maybe him as a director didn't work with this that well, but you know what? There were some very interesting visuals throughout this movie that have been always missing in the Conjuring, like, franchise. When I say the Conjuring franchise, I just mean like the main Conjuring movies, not the Conjuring universe. But I just feel like in the first two, a lot of the colors in those movies were muted down and everything just felt so devoid of life. But in this movie, like colors were popping and there were a lot of cool, bold color choices going throughout the movie. So I was like, okay, this movie has that at least going for it. But you know what? The story just really hinders this movie overall. Other than the striking visuals and the good color palette in this movie, I would have to say that Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson were the only other good things about this movie. I mean, at the center of, the Conjuring movies, you're here for a love story between Ed and Lorraine Warren, and Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are just great together. Their chemistry in this movie is still great as ever, but I would have to say that The Conjuring 2 is where the chemistry was really on fire. I mean, the love between them in The Conjuring 2 was really palpable, and in this movie, it's still there, but it's just isn't as strong because I don't think the script is that strong, but both Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson rise above the script to make this still a pretty good watch. Seriously though, without Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, this movie might be very unwatchable because the story is so weak, so if you don't have any good actors anchoring the movie, then it's going to be pretty unwatchable. And lucky for them, they had Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson to hold this movie down and make us actually care. Honestly, not only do they change the whole Conjuring format in this movie, but there really isn't that big of a villain presence. Like in the first movie, you had that demon Bathsheba being the evil force, and I mean there were other ghosts in that house, but that evil demon Bathsheba, demon like witch who killed herself on that land. See, there was a witch in there, but at least it was a ghost witch. But anyway, like she was the main villain of The Conjuring 1. The Conjuring 2, the main villain was the nun, but we thought it was like the old man, but it was the nun. Spoilers if you haven't seen The Conjuring 2, but how have you not? It's been 5 years at this point. But anyway, yeah, there are strong villain presences in the first two Conjuring movies, and in this one, that witch that was cursing people, she was a non-entity. Every time she would like show up, I was like, oh yeah, you're here. I just hope going forward with the Conjuring franchise that we can get back on track because, people usually say the third movie in a trilogy is the worst. And with this movie franchise, I'm just like, yep, y'all have proven that theory right. That theory is correct because The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, or The Conjuring 3, as I like to refer to it as, is not that good. I can't really remember any memorable sequences in this movie, and that's a bad thing because I've watched The Conjuring 1 and 2 so many times, and there are so many memorable sequences in those movies that stick out to me. But in this movie, I can't even remember one single great thing that happened in it. I mean, it's just devoid of any of those moments that make you go, aha! But yeah, The Conjuring 3, overall, it's a movie that I won't really remember, but I honestly will buy on Blu-ray because I'm a complete-ist person. I like having things all together, and I already own The Conjuring 1 and 2, so I might as well own the third one because even though I said it's not the best, it ain't the worst, so period on that. Seriously, that Rotten Tomatoes score, oh my god, The Conjuring 3, are ruining The Conjuring's, really good RT scores, because The Conjuring 1, I believe, has 86%, and The Conjuring 2 has 80%, so this Conjuring movie being so low, and in the rotten zone, notch. Tell me down below in the comments what you guys thought about the movie. Did you like it? Did you enjoy yourself watching it? Or like me, did you find it for the most part forgettable? I mean, I would like to know because I love the Conjuring movies, but I really believe they just let us down with this movie, and I'm hoping if they get a fourth movie that they go back to the old formula because I believe that worked better. I mean, I feel like the director did a good enough job, but the story just wasn't there, and I don't think the director could do anything else when the story was just so Thank you guys for coming to my channel and watching this whole movie review, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video if you're around for that. So until then, I'm gonna go now, so yes. Bye.